Great. Welcome back, everyone, to the Inspiration Stage this afternoon. So joining us now, we're delighted to welcome Atilla Cansun, who's the Chief Marketing Officer of Merck Consumer Health, who's going to enlighten us all on how we can live to be 100 years old. Right, I'm waiting for this. So a big round of applause for Atilla.
Thank you very much, dear. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Atilla Cansun. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Merck Consumer Health. Hi. Can everybody hear me? All good? Great. Okay. So you may have seen the posters outside. We're going to be talking about a new era, about a new phase in society where people will be living much longer. And we're going to be talking about the consequences, how it touches each and every one of us. So I would like to ask you, actually, to do me a favor for the next 30 minutes or so, to put your important job titles to the side, to forget about your job. The creative directors, the art directors, the heads of something, the chief something, put that hat, please, to the side. For me, visible, please. Because, thank you, because we're going to be talking about topics that are not about job, not about profession, it's about life. It's going to be touching every one of us, our loved ones, so I need you to be, over the next half hour or so, be yourselves as humans, as husbands, wives, as fathers, mothers, as sons, daughters, and listen to me with your heart. So let's make sure you have stripped your stripes down and you have mentally slipped into your home slippers so to get yourselves into the right mood. So you may be asking yourself, who the hell is this guy? Where is he from and everything? So I'll quickly cover that. I work for Merck Consumer Health. Merck is the oldest pharmaceutical company in the world. So our founder, the family founder, Emmanuel Merck, has about 350 years ago started his pharmacist business, his apothecary business, by asking people how they are from the vicinity, from the neighborhood, how he can help them, and mixing his potions, and this is how he started his business and became bigger and bigger. And to this date, we keep this in our DNA, to ask people, to ask consumers how they feel, patients, how they feel, what are their worries, their concerns, their restraints, their wishes and hopes for the future. So all of what you'll be seeing is actually, therefore, building on the feedback, on the responses of people, on what they have told us, their stories, and we're going to zoom out and together look at the bigger picture. So are we ready? Are you ready for a new era? So let's get started on this topic with a warm-up exercise. Who of you believe wholeheartedly that you will live longer than 80 years in this life? Great, wonderful. You have all the chances to crack the 80. Let's take it up a notch higher. 90. Who of you believe that they have good chances to meet and go higher than 90? Great. And so, a little less the numbers, so I'm looking at the room. So, the third one, 100, it's a magical number. Who of you believe wholeheartedly they will live 100 or longer in this life? Great, still a few of you. And you have all the right to believe in that. You have all the chances to go for it. Because it's not a big revelation, right? Over the last 60, 70 years, after the Second World War, basically the life expectancy around the entire world has picked up significantly. So it is a normality, actually, for people to look forward to cracking the 100. In fact, in some regions around the world, in Italy, out of all places in Andorra, some places in Japan, there are regions where the life expectancy today is already 91, 92, 93 years old. And going for the other end of the spectrum, it'd be interesting to know that in Europe, a newborn, the average Joe, newborn today, is already projected to live 107, if not 110 years. This is not my own wishful thinking. It is life insurances as they're calculating the projected lives of their prospective clients, right? So it is out there. But what is really important is not these facts that you can look up anywhere in Wikipedia, it's out there. Is more, in this context, what moves people, What constraints? What does it make them feel like? So we have, again, in the same spirit of talking to consumers, to patients, asked hundreds of people between 18 and 89 years, mainly in Europe and Asia. In this context, in this new era that's coming up on us, where people, humans, will be living 100 years, if not longer, what do people think? What are their fears, their complaints, their wishes, their hopes? And this is what's going to be the stimulus about for the next couple of minutes. So 80% of people that we have asked were thinking that the society needs to dramatically change their attitude towards aging and elderly. Right? If you dig a little bit further, what becomes apparent is that people look forward to their 50th birthday, so there is a crescendo, there's a pickup, there's good things to look forward to. And as of 50, something magical happens and you enter a downward trend. Right? And so they feedback that, especially after 50, 60, 70, they need to make an effort to reintegrate themselves, to count in the society, and to fight against this attitude, which they feedback is bitter, is making them sad. Let's look again on the other side, the beginning of the spectrum, with kids. An appalling 93% are thinking that our kids are not well enough prepared, not well educated to live a long, healthy life. Let's put our hands on hearts, wherever you may be coming from. Think about the education system. I'll tell you, from where I am from in Istanbul, my niece was sent to a kindergarten so she can learn a foreign language, so she's already ahead of the kids when she starts primary school. Primary school prepares them for the best high school possible. High school is all geared towards getting into the college, and college and university is all geared towards nailing the fattest job possible. Nothing else. This is a rat race. This is our education system everywhere around the world, and even in Africa it's coming up on them. We'll get to talk about this. So, this is the concern that actually covers the entire population. If you move into another territory, 80% of people think that they have lower chances, 50 plus, to find a job versus those that are younger. Another brutal reality. So think about your loved ones. I don't want you to think about job, but your loved ones, your friends, about your vicinity. Do you know of any 60-year-old who has applied for a new job recently? Just raise your hands. Very few of you, right? Do you genuinely know a 60-year-old that is looking forward to changing a career? They say, I'm talented in a different area and I want to do something else. Very few, right? And why is that? It's because, for God's sake, people don't want to even move their cactus from left to right. They don't want to move seats in the office because the environment, the corporate environment, makes them feel insecure and unwanted about them. So any change could mean a danger to them. How sad of a feedback is that, right? In a society where people are looking forward to live 100 years, out of 60, after 60, you have 40 to go, you already have to glue yourself to your seat to feel secure. Linked to that, 95% of people think that they will not be supported by their government to participate in society after retirement. This is another kind of thing, right? A brutal fact. What is really retirement? It's something sweet sour, right? It's a goodbye kiss you're giving a person. You're feeling good for them, but actually when you're applauding, you're like, what will happen out of her? She walks out of here. She had a good life here in our agency, in our department. And what happens is that we give people a bunch of money, promise them to pay monthly for the rest of their lives, but do we really care what they do? We send them home to count the days to grave. This is what is happening. And very much related to that, ironically actually, as you look at the institutions out there and ask people to list them, which ones are the best and the worst prepared in terms of helping people to live a long, healthy lives, the ones we should be trusting the most is the government, is ranking last. It is last behind hospitals, pharmacies, universities. For God's sake, even banks are better ranked than our governments. And another thing I wanted to mention here, it may be obvious and clear, but 2/3 of people, they're actually thinking it matters not only how long you think you live, the quantity, but also how well you live, right? And as of that age where we talked about, you enter in a phase of diminuendo, you're going into a downward spiral as of 50. These people are looking to the society, looking to the government, to institutions to take responsibility to make them feel good, keep that high quality of life also in the second chapter of their lives. So about the past 6 months or so in the company, we've had a lot of workshops together with our partner agencies thinking about where can we really help and look into also how can we influence the society. And our main takeaway and our main outcome was that we can help with the support of others like yourselves to prepare the society for this new era of humans living 100 years. So what I'd like to do is now show you a movie, a short movie, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you.
How long did your loved grandma live? How long do you think you'll live? Did you ever think you can be 100? Since 1945, life expectancy has increased dramatically, and anyone born today could well live to be 100 and more. But do you think that society and governments are ready? Do you think our education system prepares our kids to live healthily for such a long time? And what about our healthcare industry? Is it ready? We think the answer to all is no. We at Merck Consumer Health exist to prepare society for a new era of humans living 100 healthy years. We believe in a system that values all generations, from birth to 100 years old. We believe that our education system should teach our children how to live good, long lives. We believe that people in their 50s and older still have a lot to offer. And we believe in a healthcare industry that supports this goal for everyone. We believe it's time to create a new society where people can live healthily well beyond their 100th year.
Great. All right, so I hope you liked it. It's kind of the Thank you. It's kind of the essence of what I wanted to say. Unless you express a dream, a vision, a purpose, as we call it, very clearly, you verbalize it and visualize it, people don't know what to follow and how to help. So this was the intent of the movie. What I'd like to show you also from a creative perspective, what we have done is to create a brand, an independent brand from Merck and Merck Consumer Health that's called WE100. What does it signify? It signifies that you, I, he, she, all of us have the right and deserve the support to live 100 kick-ass years. This is asking for people, to come together instead of the young and the old, to isolate each other and to separate from each other over time, is to find ways to reintegrate them, for enabling them to benefit from each other, from their expertise and their strengths. And the third point I want to mention here is that we have intentionally designed everything about the brand WE100 in a brand neutral way. So there are no iconic elements from the Merck brand, from consumer health. As such, we open this up to any good-hearted individuals or corporations who would like to join. Please, welcome to join this platform. We won't be able to pull this off all by ourselves. We actually invite people, invite corporations out there to join in, to co-create, to shape, to define the direction of this movement. I personally, over the next year, am looking forward to personally meet the Pope. How great would it be in the areas of influence of the guy if he bought into it and if we were to talk about it? In some areas like Africa, Southeast Asia, there is so much potential for how long more people could be living and how much better. Or why not the Queen? She just celebrated the 90th birthday and looked fabulous. I love her. She looks like she could go another 90 years, right? If we could also have her join the platform and feel comfortable without having any hesitations from a commercial perspective, it could genuinely help people. So this part is covering this vision, this purpose, this dream we have enunciated, we have expressed. Now, what do we want to do concretely about it? We have put together and workshopped, again, with our partners here, Ogilvy, Weber Shandvik, around the world, put our heads together and came up with 15 concrete projects that we can go out there and put it out there, asking people to participate in those projects. And before picking which ones to show you today and which ones we're working on to probably early fall to go out there, this is, by the way, one of the first coming out sessions of this whole project and of the WE100, the brand. We have asked people, we let, again, thousands of people decide. So from Mexico to Malaysia, from the UK down to Kenya, out of those 15 projects that we put together, concrete projects, 4 were overwhelmingly the winners. So I'll now show you a short movie introducing you these 4 projects, and then we'll start out with the winner. In the meantime, you can think about which you may think is the winner. Thank you.
A new era has just begun. The era of people living to 100 years and more. We have to ask ourselves how to be ready for this new period for humanity. We at Merck Consumer Health want to talk to the new generations. How? With Healthy Hour, a new school subject dedicated to health that will be taught from kindergarten to university. To learn from an early age how to improve the quality of life and how to live healthily from birth to 100 years old. We want to rethink the way we live together. How? With Togetherland, a scholarship that will involve students of architecture to realize a new living model, where people can live independently but with common spaces and helping each other. We want to rethink the way we work. How? With Restart 50+, an online job platform to give new opportunities to those in their 50s. Because we think experience is a precious legacy for the whole society. We want to bring generations closer. How? With We4U, a project where Merck employees dedicate 3 weeks to volunteer activities to help the elderly. And now that we know how, we need to ask ourselves when. The answer is now.
Okay. So, I don't know, which one do you think is going to be the winner? Which one do people think is going to be the most promising, the most impactful, the most inviting, that can reach millions, if not billions, out there? It is the Healthy Hour. To me, it's not a surprise based on the previous research that I've shared with you. There's such a high number, such an agreement of how appalling our school system is, right? How the education system sucks when it comes to it. It is making all of us run into a rat race from term to term, from milestone to milestone, rather than preparing the kids for a marathon. And this is what this is all about. It's a school program, it's a school subject that builds on this insight of the earlier you learn to take proper care of your body, the better it is. So there's many people, parents, grandparents out there who are majorly concerned that this is at the moment not happening at school. So if it was your project, you had to make a call, which out of the geographies that are out there would you choose? We have chosen Africa to get started. First and foremost, In Africa, as far as the life expectancy is concerned, we have a lot of catching up to do. In some places, they are 30, 40, and even 50 years behind. Can you imagine the average Joe having not 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, 50 years less life expectancy than somewhere like in Germany or Japan or Korea? The governments are very much open to co-create subjects for schools. Very recently, the First Lady of Kenya, Margareta Kenyatta, has been working with my colleagues on strengthening the weaker generation. You know what that is? It's the new generation that gets fed by fast food. So they have measurably less muscle strength because of the way they feed themselves. Parents are majorly worried about their own and their kids' futures because the corporate world is knocking on their door and they feel the competition is coming. Am I best prepared for the future, for survival, for living longer and better lives? And finally, healthcare professionals are some of the most genuine, most entrepreneurial doctors and pharmacists that I have ever met. In Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, they ask for nothing. They just need the materials, the wisdom, the content. They'll go miles for you. What kind of territories will this program be entailing? So for those geographies that are exposed to a lot of sun, which for today it was also my expectation. I'm majorly disappointed that it's raining outside. Skincare is going to be one of the topics to take care of your skin. Obesity, diabetes, nerve care, why not cognitive development, brain health, very much needed, exercising, and nutrition, as well as bones and joints will be the topics that we're going to be exploring with the kids, again, to prepare them not only for the very important career job, they still want to nail that fat job out there, but they want to also manage their body for the next 100 years. And unless they start from the childhood, they will not have great chances. They may be cracking the 100, but not in a great health condition. The second one that got the highest scores, again, across the geographies, with that included Asia, Africa, Europe, different parts of Latin America. In Mexico, we were testing. The second best testing one was WE100. And this was also a big thing for us internally at Merck. There are many people out there that are willing to help others, but they don't have enough free time to participate in volunteering type of activities. To correct here a misunderstanding, when people hear this, they're like, oh, 3 weeks off. It's not off, obviously. It's still, you have to contribute. You have to still work in those 3 weeks. So if it was your brand, if you were leading this activation, where would you start? Well, we have chosen to get started in Europe. Obviously, very pragmatically, there's a very high percentage of elderly people in Europe. So there's a bigger target group out there. We're going to have a bigger impact as we activate this project. We have, very pragmatically also, a very large Merck consumer health organization. Our headquarters in the center of Germany, in Darmstadt. We have historically developed and overgrown in Europe, so we'll have more legs and arms to help out for the program, basically. So we have great openness from the governments because we share with them also the data that we just talked about. This is serious market research. It's done with the right methodology, and it's bitter feedback to the system, to the government. So they're open to face the reality, to hold hands with us, to move forward, hopefully to a better life for our elderly in the society. We have a lot of partners that have already indicated the couple of weeks that we have exposed this idea to bounce it off of individuals, some corporations that are truly good-hearted, and they want to help, shape, contribute, co-create this movement. And finally, it's kind of, it's cheeky a little bit to put down here a quote from the research. It's okay to fall in love in Europe even when you're 80 years old. Are we supportive, or do we have any prejudgments against the 80-year-olds falling in love? I get this vibe that you guys are like, that's a little too late. No, in Europe, there's a great acceptance for, you ask people, what is the age that is too late, too late, if I may call it that way, to fall in love still, right? And for 80, there's still people going, why not? I'll go for it. So this shows you the kind of attitude and the response from the target group that they're already willing to say, I'll participate, why not? So the territories of interest for the workshop. The first one that has the highest interest is the digital crash course. So how great would it be if you could reach out as many elderly as possible to help them catch up with technology, reconnect with life, with their loved ones, build their own networks in social networks and social media. Bones and more. So 80 plus, the most brittle part of the body is the bones. So you need to understand yourself, know your strengths and weaknesses to manage your life properly. Why not restart your professional life? How sad it is for a person to be dedicated to only one thing for their entire life, get retired and be cut off from it. I may have another passion. I may have another talent that I want to go after. It's never too late to go after what your heart is wanting. So we would like to give ways, give support to those people to restart their professional life, at least to follow strongly a passion of theirs, no matter of what their age is. Avoiding accidents, very, very important. If you have a big accident at that age, it may actually be that your quality of life will be decreasing immensely. And finally, cognitive maintenance, so that you can be in touch with your loved ones, with your vicinity, with your environment, as well as it gets. The thing I wanted to point out here as well is that our 3,000 and a bit employees are all fired up for We4U. So we have had over the past couple of months big events internally at Merck Consumer Health, be it country events in countries in Europe and in Kenya. We're going to involve the organization to participate, to go out there, to present to doctors, pharmacists, anybody who's out there who's interested to join. Great, great interest. You see me actually, some snapshots. Let me see, here me. I don't pose usually that way. It's clearly a snapshot from a blog that I was doing from that event. That's a joke, by the way. Nobody picked it up. So, global marketing event where hundreds of people come together, global R&D event. There's great passion, genuine interest of people. And you know what? I have also put my own professional head to the side. It's because it's about life. It's not job. It's not profession. It's something that you can talk to your grandparents about, your neighbor about, and everybody picks up the topic, because who doesn't want to live 100 years, right? So there's great innate interest in that. So I've promised the guys here to wrap up actually in 30 minutes. So I would like to actually leave it at that with giving you 2 examples with the Healthy Hour and We4U. Those are going to be 2 of the 4 projects we're going to be pushing forward with. You're one of the very first audiences here that are exposed to it, so I'm excited about it. Hope you liked it as well. And over the next couple of weeks and months, bit by bit, we're going to expose the ideas to the people much more to public, and interviewing, chatting, blogging about it, and it'll become, hopefully with your help, bigger. I thank you very much for having followed me with your hearts. That's very, very important. And I'm hoping that I've been able to win you for WE100. And I'll tell you very pragmatically, very practically, why is it so important for you guys to understand, feel for it, and go out there, chat about it, talk about it, blog about it, and make it bigger, make it your own, is because we're only 3,000 people. We are on a good day the number 8 or 9 consumer health company. We can't, by ourselves, shoulder 7 billion people, right? So the work that we have done together with our partners, with our agencies, is to describe this world, enunciate this world verbally and visually, and to inspire people. And from here on, I'm hoping that you're going to actually take it on and make it your own. One last wish from my side. I wish for everybody, as a thank you also, to actually blow their candles on their 100th birthday by themselves. I wish all of you would bite into your cake with your own teeth and have a blast dancing on your own legs. And yes, we can. We need to wish for it and plan for it and support WE100. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. Big round of applause for Attila. Thank you very much.